you're ready to fall asleep. That battery is kind of at its end at the end of the day. And these generator types, they're going to have the same amount of energy the next day. It's sort of this consistent access to life force, workforce energy. These are our worker bees. They're the doers on our planet.
Good morning. Welcome, everyone. Welcome back. Today we have Lisa Kummer. She has been here before and shared some of her knowledge with human design. Her company is Realign with Human Design. And before we get started, Lisa, good morning. And what is in your coffee cup?
Good morning, Lori. It's so good to be here again. Thanks for inviting me back.
Of course.
I usually drink tea. And one of my favorite flavors is like a turmeric chai tea.
Ooh.
Yes.
Yum.
Sort of calming and nice for cool mornings.
Yeah. I don't know if you know, in our coffee shop, but we have just started putting turmeric in our chai and it's been so popular. People love it.
Oh, really?
It's like it's a spicy chai. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's a great
Cool.
combo.
Yes. Especially where you live.
Yeah.
Get those cool, foggy mornings.
I'm so glad to have you back. You have so much knowledge and wisdom, and I just love having you here. And human design right now is such a hot topic. Like I just hear all my friends talking about it, and there's so much that you can get from that and knowing your human design.
Yeah.
And today we're going to talk about self-care with the different energy types.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about those energy types to get started for people who aren't familiar with that?
Yeah, I'll definitely go over that. And I also want to refer people back to our first episode that we did, right? I don't know which one episode that was. Do you know the number of it?
I don't remember the number. I'll find out and put it in the show notes.
But if you want, in that episode, I go into a lot more overall detail. So, invite you to go back and listen to that first episode. But yes, today I'll do we'll go over it again a little bit. So I've got 2 coffee mugs in my hand. So there's 5 different energy types, and we can categorize them into 2 different groups. The first group is going to be our generator types. And in that category, or in that mug, we've got the generators and the manifesting generators. And then in my other beautiful mug, we've got the non-generator types. And those are the manifestors, reflectors, and projectors.
Okay.
And should we share our energy types, Lori?
Yeah. Well, if I remember correctly, I'm a generator, right?
You're a generator.
Yes.
Yep. And I'm a projector. So this is great. We're in the 2 different mugs. You're the generator type and I'm the non-generator type. So the difference between those 2, shall I just dive in there?
Sure, that's great. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Generators and manifesting generators, which we're going to call the generator type. Think of those as, okay, this is the coffee mug, and it's like they're drinking coffee all day. It's like never-ending mug of coffee. And so they've got lots of energy. And think of it as they have a battery pack that keeps them going all day, sort of like the Energizer Bunny. And so they just they just have all this energy to do different things during the day. And good self-care for these 2 energy types is to run out that battery throughout their day, whether it's doing work that they love, or maybe if you're more sedentary while you're working, that after work, you're making sure to go out and get some physical exercise. Somehow you're draining that energy battery so that when you go to bed at night, you're ready to fall asleep. That battery is kind of at its end at the end of the day. And these generator types, they're going to have the same amount of energy the next day. It's sort of this consistent access to life force, workforce energy. These are our worker bees. They're the doers on our planet. And generally, to get good sleep, they want to wear out that battery, but they also want to be consciously aware of not getting their second wind. Like say at 10 o'clock at
Ooh,
night, if you are
yeah.
like, okay, I'm kind of tired, but if I just do a little bit more, I can get ahead, or, that I can just do a little bit more. And you push yourself, you're going to hit your second wind. And then later on, it's going to be harder for you to fall asleep.
It's
Can you relate to
absolutely
that,
me. I
Lori?
know that. I know that feeling that you're describing.
Yes.
My gosh.
So go to bed when you're starting to feel tired. Don't push past it. And the other self-care tip for these two energy types is that just because you feel like you can do everything, doesn't equal you should do everything. Because when you're doing things that you don't really want to do, that's one thing that can drain the battery pack for these generator types and lead to burnout, is when they're doing things that they don't want to be doing. So self-care here is being intentional about what projects you put your energy into. And that's something that I explore a little bit more when I do a human design reading with these generator types, because they have got an internal signal within themselves that kind of gives them a yes or a no as to what's right for them. But many generators are disconnected from this signal within themselves. Yeah.
Wow. So when I go, when I go and do like a long hike or like the physical energy and I exert myself, I sleep so much better. But it doesn't matter if it's physical or emotional or like mental energy that you're exerting. Does it
Mhm.
matter?
That's a great question. And I think that that's going to be individual based on what else is going on in your chart, which is a great point, because it's great to preface all this by saying that I'm talking about this in really general terms. Human
Right.
design has got a lot of different layers, and it's a nuanced system. And so if some of what I don't say today doesn't make sense, there's one of two things usually going on, or both. One is that there's another layer at play in your chart that's making you feel like what I'm saying it's like, yes, no, maybe. The other thing is conditioning. And I talk about this more in our previous episode, but we're all the effect of our conditioning, who we were raised by, the culture that we were brought up in. And it's typical that our parents that raised us are a different energy type than we are. And so we were raised to be like them. They want us to be like them. And so we've gotten really off track with our own energy types and who we authentically are. So yeah, good question. I had wanted to bring that up. And so that's the importance of getting a full human design reading.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then also wanted to say that if you don't know your human design energy type, you might want to pause the podcast and go over to my website, Realign with Human Design, and run your human design chart for free. All you have to know is your birth date and your location and time, and you get your free chart. And then more of this will make sense if you have or you'll get the most out of this podcast if you have your energy type.
So much fun too.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, so good question. So I would say, Lori, what feels good to you? Is it hiking that burns off your energy, or is it working and using your mental energy?
That's so interesting. I got to think about it. What I do know is when I'm exercising regularly, I sleep so much better. But I
Mm,
know that busy mind of like when I have a lot going on, I can totally do that like reboot, like, oh, I've
yep.
got more energy, stay up later and then stay up through the night
Mm,
working. But then that also, when I'm going to bed, if I haven't, I'm assuming haven't exerted myself enough, then I'm in bed just like spinning, like just thinking of all the things constantly. My
yeah.
brain just is.
Yeah. Yeah, I would guess, yeah, if you're up late using your brain and working on things that are mental based, that might be a challenge then going to bed. You
Yeah.
might want to play with it and take a break before you go to bed. Try doing some jumping jacks, or like something that helps burn off some of the physical energy again.
Oh, yeah.
I don't
That's a
know,
great.
just an idea. Play with it.
I
Yeah,
do know if I'm reading before bed, I usually sleep much better too.
right. like a novel, something where you're not using your mental energy to figure something out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that that's a good thing that's good for everyone. Yes. Oh, all right. So are we ready to dive into our other mug, our other
Yeah. So,
category?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So over here, again, we've got our non-generator types. These are our manifestors, reflectors, and projectors. So these three types are here to work in the world in a different way than the generators are. Their energy is going to ebb and flow a little bit more. They don't have that battery pack that I talked about with the generator types. So they're generally not going to be energizer bunnies. However, again, they've been conditioned by, 70% of the people on the planet are generator types. So they've been conditioned to act like energizer bunnies. So they're not, but they can act, they will act like it. That's a good reason to know your energy type. So good self-care for these three types is to understand the ebb and flow of your energy and to start honoring that ebb and flow more and more if you can. I understand that some people work 9-to-5 jobs Monday through Friday, but if you can start to be aware of it and notice that your energy does dip, and if you can honor it, and kind of normalize that for yourself a little bit more, that you're just going to need rest. Because these three energy types, because they go through life thinking that they are energizer bunnies, this leads to burnout. So many of these people in their around midlife, they're going to develop health conditions where their body is telling them, you need to slow down. It's their body of ways like screaming at them, no, this isn't right. So it can lead to burnout for these energy types. Let's see here, what else? So, and then, yeah, just giving themselves permission for that rest. And then when they get to the end of the day, it's for optimal sleep. These energy types, they want to lay down horizontally about an hour before they know they generally get tired. Like
Oh,
just get
wow.
horizontal, read a
Yeah.
book, watch TV. And this is because they are bringing in the energy of those generators without them even thinking about it. They're bringing in that generator battery pack energy into their bodies and kind of amplifying it throughout the day. When they lay down horizontal, that helps them disperse that energy out of their body. And then by the time they go to bed, they're ready to fall asleep. Does that make sense?
So do they know like that these people, do they need like more sleep, or maybe they need like a nap in the middle of the day, or is it just totally different for everybody? It's kind of trying to figure out your own
I would say
thing.
it's different for everyone. The manifestors tend to have a little bit more energy than the reflectors and the projectors. So they're able to kind of fake it through life a little bit longer than the projectors and reflectors. So they might have a little bit more energy, whereas the reflectors and projectors, I would say it's gonna ebb and flow a little bit more. But again, it also depends on what else is going on in their chart.
Yeah.
It really does. Yeah.
So when you think about like self-care for these different types, is there anything that's like more like specific to each one?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. So yeah, let's talk about the manifesting generators. The manifesting generators are multi-talented, multi-passionate type where they could be juggling, 5, 10 things at a time. And they really want to nurture that side of themselves. They need to be in that creative process constantly and using up that energy. And they should also understand that everything that they do is not going to lead to quote unquote success. So some of those things, they're just occupying their energy and they might decide to let them go after a while. And that's completely correct for the manifesting generator. There's no linear process here. And then Yeah, so it might not go from A to B to C. It could go from A to Z to M, and then they let it go. So really nurturing that multi-passionate side of themselves is important.
So do you know, I'm just thinking with um, like multitasking and everything, would these types, do they benefit, like, I guess specifically by their type? I don't know if this makes sense, but like, do they benefit from, say, like online organizational apps or something like that, like to keep them on track? Is it that kind of thing or not so much?
You mean
Does that make
to
sense?
understand where to put their energy or how to keep track of what they're doing?
Yeah, like if they're multitasking all the time, is it more efficient for them to be using those types of things to maybe better use their energy more efficiently? Or is that even something that people consider in human design? Like, or is that something different?
That could be specific to each person.
Yeah.
Each person might want to play with that. Does an organizing app work for you?
Mhm.
Great. If it doesn't, I mean, I think that some people are just all over the place. I mean, it could help to bring that in to focus them, but then they might be, it might be hard for them to be so organized.
Yeah.
Something for a manifesting generator to play with. I have not heard about that in my studies of human design.
And so with the other three, what would be some specific kind of tips for self-care for those groups?
Yeah,
That those
the
energy.
generator. Yep. So the generator is going to be slightly different from the manifesting generator in that they want to find maybe one thing that's going to be their passion project, not a whole lot of multiple things. So the generators, they want to find one passion project, kind of stick in that lane a little bit more. And it's not always going to be their job, even though they have got the energy to do the job and make the money. That's great, but they usually want to have a passion project on the side that lights them up, that they love to do, that's going to make them sparkly. That's how they generate energy, and their energy field becomes sparkly, and that's how they impact the world. So finding a passion project is important for the generator.
Nice.
So my question for what I love about human design is it's kind of like a navigational tool.
Yeah.
It gives you signposts to know, how are you off track? You know, am I off track because of my conditioning? Where am I? How do I get back to my authentic self? So my question for the generator types as a signpost to know where you're at is, do you feel blah right now? And for the manifesting generators, feeling blah is a sign that they are tapping down their multi-talented nature, because they've been conditioned to, can't you just find one thing and stick to that? Do you have to do 10 different things? So they've learned to squish that part of themselves, and
Oh,
that makes them feel blah.
no.
The generator is somewhere in their life working out of obligation, and that makes them feel blah. So this is again where they're putting their energy into play. Well, for the generator mainly, but understanding where you're putting your energy into for these two types is really important, because they need to be doing what they love.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and then how does that work for the other three?
Well, the other three are, let me dive into those.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let's talk about the manifestors. So the manifestors are here to be in a creative flow and to initiate things onto the planet. So their energy is moving really fast, and they've got creative ideas all the time. And when the manifestor gets interrupted, when they're maybe working on a creative project and they get interrupted, they're going to feel angry because they've just been interrupted. So self-care for the manifestor is going to look like creating an environment where your flow is not interrupted. And I know that we're talking about self-care and like way different terms than we usually talk about self-care. Usually it's like, go to a yoga class, do,
Oh, yeah.
take a bath, or, you know. So this is like a little bit outside the box for what self-care is. But it's awesome. I love human design for that.
Yeah.
So
It
yeah,
kind of
there's
feels like you're protecting your energy throughout the day. It's like this constant, like being aware and
right. And
that
just
kind
understanding how you're different and what your needs are and
of,
how to care for yourself. Yeah.
love that.
Yeah. So the manifester, what this might look like for a manifester is informing. The manifester wants to inform those around them of what they're going to be partaking in. And that's going to reduce the amount of interruptions that they have. So say you work in an office space where, with other people and you get an idea. You want to inform the other people, hey, I'm going to be working on this project for 3 hours. Like, please, you might say, please don't interrupt me or what have you.
Yeah.
You're not necessarily asking permission. This is different than asking permission. The manifester is informing. This is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And
Boundaries.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So this is good self-care for the manifester. The other thing that's really important for the manifester is reconnect and reclaim their personal power. This is good well-being for them. And I know that this is something that you could say, well, wouldn't that be true for everyone? And yeah, this could be applied to everyone, but there's reasons why I'm saying different things for each different specific type, because it's just in their energy type. So yeah, reconnecting with their personal power is really important because they've been told that they're too much. They were told that they were too much, and they started to shut down their personal power.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. Good little piece there.
Yeah. Gosh.
Now, the reflector, really important for the reflector to slow down in their decision-making process and to understand that they're just going to need time to gain clarity. And this could take them 30 days. Like
Oh, wow.
yeah. And this is kind of like big decisions in their life. It's not like, do you want to go out for dinner? And you say to your friend, no, let me think about that for 30 days.
Yeah.
It's not that sort of a thing. These are sort of like bigger decisions in life that they need a lunar cycle to get their clarity. And yeah.
That's
So trusting in that timing and having faith that they're going to come to aligned decisions. And then the other thing for the reflector is to have a good sounding board in your life, whether it be a really good friend, a spouse, a partner, who's not necessarily going to be giving you advice, but they're just going to be listening to you, because one of the ways that you do come to clarity and get your own answers is by just talking something out.
wow.
And you know that your answer is inside of you, but you just need to talk it through.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a little bit true for the projectors also. Yeah.
Wow.
So our last energy type is the projector. This is my energy type. And the projector needs a lot of rest. And this is because the projector's energy field is unconsciously tending to things in the background that is draining their energy that they're not even aware of.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really amazing. And I'm not going to go into all that here on our podcast, but their energy is unconsciously tending to things in the background. So projectors might be tired might be done with their day at like 3 or 4 in the afternoon. They're just like, need to lay on the couch and do nothing for a while. And again, normalizing rest for the projector, but all 3 of those energy types. We tend to judge people in our culture for resting, and we live in such a hustle, bustle, push culture that
Right.
it's not okay to take rest, but we really need rest. Certain energy types really need that rest. So if you're a projector and you have a spouse or you live with other people that are a generator type, or you're working with people, you probably are working with people that are generator types. But
Yeah.
say your partner is a generator and they can do all the things. Like they go to the gym 3 nights a week, they go to a work party, or they go out with friends another night. Just know that you're not going to do all the things.
Yeah.
Maybe you go out Tuesday night, and when they go out Wednesday night, you're like, you know what? I need a night alone or at home. That's
Yeah.
really important to take that time for themselves and to know that they're just not going to be able to keep up with everyone. Get out in nature for the projector is really important. That's getting themselves away from the doingness of the rest of the planet. Yeah.
Isn't the projector the one that wears it's like a really small percentage of people are that
Yeah,
type?
projectors are 20% of the population.
Oh, okay. Which one is the one that's just a tiny like
Reflectors.
reflectors?
Reflectors
Okay,
are
so
like
that's
1% of the population.
wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. And lastly, the thing for the projector is to practice radical radical self-love.
Yes.
Again, something that's important for all of us, but specifically for the projector, because the projector is such a different type of energy type. Our design is so different. And throughout our life, we've been trying to fit in, but we're never going to fit in because we're just so different. And we oftentimes feel like we're not seen for the wisdom that we have and the knowledge. And we start to devalue ourselves and we start to not feel worthy in this culture. And it's so important for the projector to tend to their self-worth and their self-love. And then life will start to turn around for them in some ways. So this would be my question for the projector is, are you feeling bitter?
Oh, yeah.
This is the signpost for the projector that they're they're off track in some way, and they're not being, they haven't been seen, they're bitter about life, different things, and they need to reassess their life in some different way. Yeah.
Great. So can you go through those again? So the questions that you would ask.
So the questions for the generator types, generator and manifesting generator, are you feeling blah? And then for the manifester, I don't think I did say it for the manifester, but that one would be, are you feeling angry?
Are you feeling angry? Okay.
Because when their creative flow gets interrupted, they feel anger.
Oh, yes. You said that they can be angry, but that's the question is, are you feeling angry?
Are
That's
you feeling angry? Yep.
great. Yeah.
And then for the reflector, I'm not sure if I share this one. It would be, are you feeling disappointed?
Okay.
Because the reflector, what they're here to do is they feel the potential. They know the potential in a community or in the people around them. They just have this innate ability to sense their potential.
Wow.
And if that person isn't fulfilling their potential, the reflector actually gets disappointed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's a good question. And then for the projector, are you feeling bitter?
Are you feeling better?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For the generators too, it can be frustration. Are you feeling frustration?
Those are great questions to have. Well, you got to first, you got to find out what you are.
I know.
Type. Yeah.
Type. Yes, yes. And then the other thing I wanted to say is that today I've gone over this in like really surface detail because we're having have a limited time here on the podcast today. But I'm going to be sharing more on my Instagram account. I'm going to go into a little bit more detail.
Such a great social media account. I love what you post. So great.
Thanks. So I'm going to go into some more details about self-care tips for the different energy types. So welcome you to check it out. Follow me there. It's Realign with Human Design.
I love that.
Yeah.
And then you are offering, because you are a salsa amazing dancer. You always on Facebook. It's so fun. You travel all over and get to do salsa, which is super fun to watch. But can you share what you're providing for people, a salsa for self-care?
Yes, I wanted to offer a salsa for self-care class. This is going to be via Zoom. And salsa is just something that like delights my inner child.
I bet it's so fun.
It is fun. And I didn't even know this until like 4 years ago. So
Oh, wow.
this is a part of me that's unfolding. And, you know, this is going to be a really casual movement class to Latin music. Just going to get in touch with our sensual feminine nature and just move and have fun listening to the music. And I'll teach you some moves and have fun. And then after we're done dancing, I'll stay on for, 15 to 20 minutes extra. Bring your human design questions and we can have a little Q&A.
Love that. That sounds like so much fun.
Yeah. So
So
to get involved in that, just go to my website, realignwithhumandesign.com. You can contact me through that and just let me know that you're interested and I'll give you details.
nice. I'm
Yeah.
excited. I want to
Yeah.
come.
Yeah.
So, and then is that how we'd all reach you as well? So,
Yeah.
on the website.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And we'll post that in the show notes as well.
Awesome.
So I would love for you to come back and talk about it was introverts and extroverts and human design.
Yes, I would love to talk about in the aspects of introversion and extroversion because we're all on the spectrum of one or the other, and we can learn a little bit more about it from the lens of human design.
I love that.
But if anyone else out there has got something that they want to learn about, shoot Lori or I an email or start a conversation on Instagram and let us know what you want to hear about.
Because we will have you back. Absolutely.
Awesome. Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thanks.